The World Cup of Cricket has been decided and India has it. Our Alex Thomas has been watching the action and joins us now. We could see it coming over the last few minutes, Alex. They must be going wild there.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a prediction really, was it? We could see that they were heading for a famous victory. You'll be able to hear and see fireworks bursting over the night view of the Mumbai skyline here in India, Jonathan. This is a national obsession for India. They love their cricket here, absolutely crazy about it, so you can imagine how delighted they are to be world champions of the cricketing world for a second time. You don't need to imagine it, you can see it, you can hear it. I'm being drowned out here. 33 floors up at the Four Seasons Hotel in Worli in South Mumbai, and yet the whole city, indeed the whole country, is going absolutely crazy. India completing a 6-wicket victory over Sri Lanka at the Wankhede Stadium a few miles away, led by their captain Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He led by example, an innings, well, he was about 90-odd not out when the final winning runs came. They meant they overtook the Sri Lanka total of 274 with more than one of their 50 overs to spare. I'm sure you can't hear me at all. I'll shout as best I can. The pitchers do all the talking. This will be a famous, famous day in the history of this grand country. They've been world champions once before, back in 1983, so they've had to wait an awful long time to be kings of the cricketing world. Once again, their last triumph inspired a generation. I'm sure this one will do exactly the same, Jonathan.
A country of 1.2 billion people is celebrating this victory, but the entire subcontinent. Think about how well Pakistan did, how close Sri Lanka, tiny Sri Lanka did. There have got to be a lot of smiles, even among some of the fans who didn't see their side succeed.
I think it'll be hard for Sri Lanka's players and for their fans, just a population of around 20 million for them. They have been knocked over by a much bigger country, bigger cricketing resources. But you're right, when they've had time to reflect, Sri Lanka will realise that reaching the World Cup final for a second successive time, they lost to Australia 4 years ago, is an achievement amongst itself. They tried very hard. Mahela Jayawardene, 103 not out for him in their innings. And spare a thought for Matthiya Muralitharan at 38 years old, the wristy spinner with the funny action, who's taken more wickets in the one-day game and test matches than anyone in history. This was his final ever international match. He's retired last year, came back for one last hurrah at this World Cup, but he's finished on the losing side. Whereas for India, their legend, Sachin Tendulkar, a Mumbai resident, well, he didn't have a winning score today, but he will now cap a marvellous career with a World Cup winners' medal. He scored more runs than anyone else before. Tendulkar, Dhoni, all the other Indian stars are cricketing world champions for 2011, Jonathan.
Alex Thomas in Mumbai, stay with us. We're joined also on the line by Iqbal Atas in Colombo, Sri Lanka, and I imagine there the entire country must have just let out a sigh of sadness and disbelief. Iqbal Atas, can you hear us, or is the crowd in Mumbai too loud? I guess so. Let's go back to Alex Thomas.
Alex, to another reporter in
Yeah, Alex Thomas, are you still with us? Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes, Jonathan, I apologise. I couldn't tell amongst the noise of all the fireworks here whether you were throwing to another reporter in Colombo in Sri Lanka. But yeah, I'm sure the Sri Lankan, or the scenes in Sri Lanka right now, will be very different to what you can see going on behind me here in Mumbai. All sorts of firecrackers going off at street level, fireworks lighting up the sky over in Mumbai. A very, very visual display of exactly how happy India is at becoming cricket world champions. You know, we saw it, well, we see it with major sporting championships in the Football World Cup, the winning nation. People will take to the streets, and this is certainly the case for India. The Mumbai streets famous for being filled with vehicles honking their horns normally. At the moment, it's just full of people, all onto the streets, wherever they live, and they'll be celebrating long into the night.